welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. About 50 students of Government Girls Science and Technical College in Dapchi, Yobe State missing following Monday's attack on the town by suspected Boko Haram insurgents. State government says some of the students have been found. President Buhari orders security agencies to swing into action over missing Dapchi schoolgirls. Federal government delegation to visit Dapchi tomorrow. 4 confirmed dead following outbreak of meningitis in Niger State. And renowned U.S. evangelist Billy Graham dies at the age of 99. Let's just remind you quickly that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. And log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device, or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. Now let's take a look at the pictures that you sent into our portal. Let's start with this set of images from Udu local government area of Delta State, showing people whom our Eyewitness reporter says are students of primary schools during a soccer competition. According to him, the essence of this competition is to catch young talents and promote sports development at the grassroots. Next is this image from Jankara on Lagos Island in Lagos State, showing a flooded road, which our Eyewitness reporter says is due to rainfall, and he wants the drains cleared to prevent a recurrence. And let's end with this one coming in from Lagos on the Lagos Island area of the state, showing 2 men sitting on a motorcycle with goats. Our Eyewitness reporter is wondering if these men were seen by any road traffic officials. Thanks a lot for sending in all your pictures, and do keep them coming into us. A former Chief of Army Staff, retired Lieutenant General Azubuike Ihejirika, was today interrogated by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on his alleged role in the $2.1 billion arms scandal involving the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki. Lieutenant General Ihejirika, who was the Army Chief between September 2010 and January 2014, was said to have arrived at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja and was questioned as part of the ongoing investigations into the arms scandal. The former Army Chief was said to have told the anti-graft agency that he was not aware of various documents being demanded from him by the investigators and requested to be allowed to go back and gather more information. The EFCC, however, says he'll be released on administrative bail as soon as preliminary interrogations are over. And let's cross over to Abuja now, and here's Makwe Ogun. Makwe?
Hello, Ijeoma. The federal government has approved the sum of 5.7 billion naira for the construction of the Ibadan-Kaduna Road. The project has a completion period of 3 years and has been awarded to a Chinese company. Well, the approval was part of the decisions made at the Federal Executive Council meeting today, where a review of the performance of 3 ministries was also done.
The ministers anchored their presentations on the approvals they got from the council since 2015. In all, the consensus by the ministers is that much has been achieved.
Fundamentally arising from the cases that were conducted by the Federal Ministry of Justice, the ministry has succeeded in saving the government around 4.5 trillion naira relating to the claims that were presented in respect of these cases.
The Foreign Affairs Minister is proud of President Buhari's intervention towards freeing the country's embassies abroad from huge indebtedness.
We also had subsequent interventions. The second one was for 933 million naira that was released, and for renovations and other things and other debts and so forth in the embassies.
The Federal Capital Territory got approvals for road construction and water supply treatment.
Got approval for 2 very important contracts. for the FCT. The first contract is for the supply of chemicals to the FCT water board at the sum of 273,420,000 naira.
The Transportation Minister also came out of the meeting with an approval for a contract worth over 6 billion naira.
What was awarded today was Ibadan to Kaduna for $6.7 billion. This is an old contract that was awarded in 2006. The only difference now is that we have to award the spur that is going to Azubuike. So at Oshobo, there's a new contract from Oshobo to Azubuike. Now that has brought the entire contract to 6.7 from Ibadan to Kaduna.
The council meeting lasted for over 5 hours. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has set up an 8-member committee headed by National Commissioner Abubakar Nanuche to investigate the alleged incident of underage voting in the recent local government elections in Kano State. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu explains that the committee, which has 2 weeks to submit its report, will not investigate the conduct or outcome of the local government election conducted by the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission. The chairman of the Forum of State Independent Electoral Commissions of Nigeria, retired Justice Ihejirika Akumas, however, pledged the commitment of the forum to the conduct of free, fair and credible elections at all levels.
We promised Nigerians that the matter will be fully investigated and a committee will be set up for this purpose, headed by a national commissioner with resident electoral commissioners and staff from the technical departments of INEC as members. For the purpose of clarification, the committee is not investigating the conduct or outcome of the local government election by the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission. These are outside the constitutional and legal responsibilities of INEC. Rather, the committee shall focus solely on the allegation of underage persons on the voter register.
We wish to solicit the continued cooperation of INEC in working towards SECs becoming more efficient in the discharge of their constitutional duties. Today, any person who visits the INEC website sees a clock counting down to the 2019 general election. It is a reflection of how INEC legal framework has given her capacity and independence to carry out long-term plan towards election.
And staying with electoral matters, an alliance of civil society organizations under the aegis of Situation Room is urging members to intensify the campaign on the reduction of election spending. A lead convener of the Situation Room in Abuja, Mr. Clement Wankwo, appeals to members to, among other electoral matters, prioritize the advocacy on the urgent need for the electoral umpire to produce election materials locally with a view to reducing the cost of conducting the elections. The political pressure groups are also appealing to the executive and legislative arms of government to have a consensus on the recently amended sections of the electoral laws, which they believe will impact positively on the quality of elections next year.
Of course, is the concern that across the world, election preparations and conduct of elections are being made cheaper. In a country where there is a huge challenge for resources, there is a sense that you should not spend unduly organizing elections. So I think that the advocacy for us as civil society should be much more focused on how to reduce the cost of elections.
Well, that's all from Abuja. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Markwe. The German ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Bernard Schlagek, is making a case for peaceful conduct of the 2019 general elections. He made the comments during a tour of the South-South region, where he visited the Rivers State and Bayelsa State governors. He said the international community is keeping a close eye on the forthcoming poll. Now, apart from the elections, the two states are hoping to partner with Germany in the area of capacity building and other investment opportunities.
Although the last is yet to be heard about the 2019 election timetable, but going by the one released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, the exercise is about a year away. Right now, while preparations are in place by interested persons, there have been calls for a peaceful conduct. The latest is coming from the German ambassador to Nigeria, Bernard Schlagach, who is in Rivers State.
May I appeal through you as the representative of the good people of Rivers State to all citizens of the state to make the peaceful and fair elections a badge of honor for the state. I think this is of utmost importance. That this would send out a very strong, a very clear signal to the rest of the nation.
The state governor expresses his desire to see that the poll is as peaceful as it can get.
I have said it clearly. The only body that can say there will be free and fair election is INEC and the security agencies. If INEC are firm to say we must conduct a credible election, and the security agency said we must allow people's vote to count, you will not have problems.
From Rivers, the ambassador proceeds to Bayelsa State, where the governor makes a case for partnership for development.
Our state is safe and stable. It will be a good place for German businesses, German industry, German entrepreneurship. We want German collaboration in building high-quality vocational training schools in Bayelsa.
My visit here is, I think, particularly for encouraging you in continuing the good work you have been doing so far, and then also, of course, to look into these issues that are still sticking point for the region and for Nigeria as a whole.
The German ambassador says he is interested in the development of the Niger Delta region of the country, and he is seeking ways of working that out within the shortest time possible.
When the News at 10 returns, UK's Trade Commissioner for Africa visits Nigeria as part of tour aimed at challenging perception of doing business on the continent. That's on Business News. Please stay with us.